You tired of those ADCs having all the fun in the bot lane? Well, if that brand over there can say he's a support, then I can say I'm a support. So why would you play Zed Support? Well, he has really high burst damage, he can keep the enemy fully off the wave, he can safely poke from long ranges, and he has really good roam potential. However, there are some downsides. He is pretty difficult to pick up and master, weaker in the early game, and looking at those abilities, I mean, he's really just a Naruto cosplayer, ain't he? Now, if you don't know what this evil Kakashi does, let's take a look at those abilities. His passive is
Support
for the weak. Enemies below 50% HP take increased percent health damage when you slap them with your wrist knives. His Q is
Support
Shuriken. This throws a ninja star, dealing damage to anyone hit. However, it does deal increased damage to the first target hit, so you want to make sure to aim for them first. His W is
Support
Shadow. This will passively regen energy whenever you land an ability, but what this really does is sends out your Naruto Shadow Clone Jutsu and mimics his abilities. Then once you do throw this out, you can reactivate this and swap places with that shadow. His E is
Support
Slash. Zed does a little spinneroonie to deal damage to enemies around him, and his shadow. If you deal damage to enemies with the shadow, then the target is slowed. His ultimate is
Support
Mark. You cast this on a single target and you become untargetable for a short while. After that duration, you appear behind them. From there, the target is marked for 3 seconds. During that time, a portion of the damage you deal to that target is stored, and after 3 seconds, it will explode, dealing all the damage to that target. When you do cast this, you also get an alt shadow no jutsu at the cast location, so you can use this the same way you use your shadow clone jutsu. You got it? Alright, so those abilities scream support. Now let's take a look at those runes. Now, since we're going to be a little scrap for cash, we're going into that inspiration tree. First strike for our keystone, magical footwear, future market, and cosmic insight. Then secondary, we're going smurf tree for transcendence and scorch for that extra damage. Now, since we are support, we're going to build slightly differently. So let's take a look at those items. Now, I say differently, I mean very slightly differently. But depending on how many kills you how great a support you're being, you can take Dustblade first, or Umbral Glaive if you want to start clearing those wards. Then just pick up those boots and then keep building damage, supporting items. Alright, now that we have the build ready, let's take a look at some of those combos. Now let's start with one of the easiest and safest combos you can do once you hit level 3. First, you want to W with your shadow forward, E, Q. Easy peasy. This is basically going to be your main combo up until level 6. If you do want to chase him down, then you can do the same combo, just W again and continue following up with auto attack after auto attack. However, usually not the best unless they're really low or you're super far ahead. Now, once you do hit level 6, we're going to get those real combos going. Now, generally your easiest alt combo that you have is start with your R, then once it's completed, you do E, Q, and then just continually auto attack until your alt procs. Then for your highest damage combo, you want to start with your R, then once your R is completed, W towards the enemy's escape, then you can E, so you hit him with both your shadow and U, Q, hopefully hitting him with your shadow and U, continually auto attack, W to follow them if you're needed, then your alt proc will go off. For your long range alt combo, you can W towards them and W again to change places, R, EQ, continual auto attacks, alt proc. Easy enough. Then we have your GTFO combo. You want to hit your R. Once it's done, you want to immediately go back to your R, EQ, and then eventually your alt will proc. Then your GTFO plus combo. You want to R, then R again, EQ, and then WW to get even further away. Then we have your chase down combo. Generally, if you know they have some sort of escape mechanism, you can R, then WW, to make sure that you stay on top of them, EQ, continual autos, then alt proc. One last thing before we get into the game, when people see that you pick Zed Support, you should know that you're probably not going to have a normal game. Don't expect an ADC. I know I did, and I was slightly disappointed. However, that double assassin bot lane is quite spicy. Alright, we did it! We're in the game, and wait, Zed was banned? Why is Zed banned? Okay, good, we got into another lobby. What? No! Banned again? He's not even strong right now. Screw it, I'm going to blind. Alright, round 2, we did it! We're in the game, and because we're a nice support boy, we're going to take this sickle and these vials of support juice. Now let's get into that laning phase. When you're laning, you want to try and punish the enemies the best you can when they try and go near the wave to farm. However, walking up to the enemy isn't really a good idea since they're ranged and you aren't. However, once you hit level 3, you just want to hit them with that shadow poke combo, and then you can get that sweet first strike gold. The cooldown on your shadow is pretty long at early levels, so just try and do it the best you can while still playing safe. If you are able to get the enemy under tower, that's when the fun begins, because under the tower, that doesn't mean they're safe, because you can just throw out your shadow and poke them for no consequences. Now, once you hit level 6, that's when the real fun starts. You've now unlocked your delete ADC button. Now, the only hope they have is to flash away, but that doesn't really matter, because your ult is back up in 90 seconds at level 1, and they just don't have flash anymore. You gotta flash. Now, we will find them, and we will kill them. Now we're the true threat, keeping the enemy laners off the wave, and if they walk up, it's guaranteed that one of them will die. When they're dead, just push lanes, take plates, and take towers. Now let's get into that mid-game. Now that we're roaming, it's easy to clear wards with Umbral and maintain vision control on those objectives. More vision equals more chances to pick off isolated enemies and take that advantaged fight. Now remember, you are still building a support, so you actually can side lane, or at least get the lane pushing so you can continue to be a menace. However, you do still want to be there for objectives, but if you do have the opportunity to flank the enemy, that's the best, because any sort of damage that you do to their squishies is great. From there, just take objectives, push lanes, steal support, and take Nexus. We did it! We won the game, and if you like this video, check out the Crab Menace of League. Talk to you later!
Support.